Yeah, so this is my first time entering the elevator, so that's why you see I have to shine my teeth bright. Say cheese, cheese. Thank you. All right, so this is us coming into the building to get this started, but apparently my guy said no, we're not going to get started immediately with this interview, or rather with this discussion. All right, so you have to come into the kitchen and let us get some coffee before we get started. Tell you for a fact, cybersecurity people are really nice people. See, very nice and warm welcome. Guys, so stay tuned with us as we talk about data privacy. Cheers.
All right, so good morning, everyone. You are welcome to the Data Privacy Week, and it's a pleasure to be here today. And this Data Privacy Week, the theme for this year is take control of your data. So, talking to me today is a senior security specialist, network security specialist. Is my very own big boss, and he's going to be talking to us about how to stay safe online. So, sir, can we kindly meet you this morning?
Yes, good morning. My name is Chukwudi Theodore. I'm the solutions architect with Cisco, and I manage country digital acceleration for West Africa. I also support the growth and awareness of Cisco Networking Academy, and I enjoy what I do.
All right, so thank you very much for that excellent introduction. You see, his rap sheet is quite very long and extensive. All right, so the theme of this year is take control of your data. All right, so the first question I want to ask you is that given the fact that we are in this high internet era, whereby the internet penetration is quite very high and the data that is being used is quite high, so do you think people have enough control over their personal data in today's digital age?
So, individual controls are, tailored to some factors, and these factors are either maybe legal framework, technology advancement, or individual choices. But I'm going to focus on individual choices and technology advancement. I mean, we're in the age where a lot of systems and processes depend on the internet, and you have to give out some kind of data. Now, considering our National Data Protection Act, individuals should be able to understand what they should give out, how they should give out this information, and what level of protection they have, on these platforms, on these environments. Also, I feel individuals should have also some level of awareness, and this awareness, is still up to making them, understand that whatever platform they are providing their data to, or whatever instance they are sharing their data on, is fully protected, and they are guided by this national act.
This is more personalized, you understand? So, given the fact that you as an individual use several online active, should I say, online solutions. Now, have you ever been in a situation whereby your data was misused, or let's say it was misused by a body you trusted? For instance, you provided your information and it was misused. Have you ever been in such situation?
Not by a body I trusted. In my own case, it was an individual who used my second phone number. I'm not going to mention the telco. He used it to get a loan app, or use it for a third-party verification. But at the end of the day, I had to discard, that number, just to make sure that it has nothing to do with me anymore. That was before NIN and all of that. But I think further security measures should be provided by these bodies that require a lot of data from individuals for either verification or know who your customer is. And I think it all boils down to this national act, which is our National Data Protection Act, taking real effect on these people. So our regulation bodies in the country should do the right thing, in making sure that these guys are actually keeping, data as protected as possible.
Give and take. You need to give your data to get more data, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah? All right. So, given that give and take scenario, now how do you strike a balance, you as an individual, in the ease of convenience and the ease of use of using online platforms, online technology, and also maintaining your own privacy? How do you strike that balance? Because you go to some platforms, it's either you accept it or not. If you don't, they'll say, you can't use our technology. So how do you strike that balance for yourself?
I'm sure of what you're saying. You're making reference to cookies and some of these things.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So if I'm providing you information in the first place, I should be, comfortable, right? So if I'm comfortable providing you for your information, you should as well tell me how protected I am, or what laws are guiding, the information
data
that you store, or data at rest, or things like that. So that's why you see financial organizations or FSIs or financial institutions go through audits, go through, there's this other one they do, I'm trying to recall, they do ISO certifications and the rest of them, these things, yes, and so I should feel protected. So if I feel protected, then I should be able to give you the information you're looking for. So in terms of data handling, our regulation body should do better in terms of making sure that we have a centralized data, then also creating awareness for people to understand that, look, NIN is something you should have, so that you can use it to provide information to these third parties. Also, these third parties should make sure that they are doing the right thing, and they can only do the right thing by following regulations, and to make sure that these bodies that are checkmating them are doing the right thing as well with them.
All right. All right. I like the fact that you made mention of data centralization. That's at this point in time where we don't need to still keep providing all these our PIIs to different organizations.
Exactly.
The governing bodies like the CBN, like the NIMC, already have our data. So just a special identification is just supposed to be needed.
Yeah, which is what the essence of NIN is in the first place, to my own understanding, right? So if I have my NIN, I should, be able to, transact around the country. All I just need is my NIN. NIN is attached to me. Either I'm using whatever telco I'm using, or whatever system I'm using. I should be able to impute my NIN, and my NIN calls up all my information. So if the institution requires a third-party verification, I could do it just thumbprint, just to call up my data again, and that should be fine.
Given all this that you've said, now I want to put some individuals in perspective now. Let's say the unlearned, our uneducated aunts, uncles, mothers. Now, how do you think they can enhance their own data privacy? How do you think they can do this thing? Because some of them might not be too tech savvy. So, and they are the ones that actually fall prey to things like this the more.
Yeah.
So how do you think at some point, how can they better enhance their own security?
Yeah, so in our age, we are more technology savvy. Yeah. So I think we should leverage on our own, our own generation to make sure that the generation above us is protected. So our generation is more technology savvy. So we should educate our parents, what they should give out, what they shouldn't give out. I mean, I was expecting to see, a lot of flyers, a lot of jingles, and a lot of videos going out, considering that this month is data privacy month and we're supposed to take charge of our data. I mean, I've not seen any official video from, I don't want to mention names, but I mean, things like that will help them because, they have smart devices, at least smartphones, so they can watch these videos, and we as well help them at least to some extent have strong passwords and tell them what to give out and what not to give out. And if they are not sure, they can always revert back to us to ask. So we are like their backbone in terms of data protection.
Wow, I really like the fact that you're bringing it back home. That means we individuals, we tech savvy, are the backbones of the elderly generation right now. So we are the one that should give them that knowledge?
It's actually our responsibility.
Our responsibility.
Exactly. It's our responsibility.
All right. So this month, we are not only taking control of our data, we are taking control of the data of the people around us, our loved ones, our elderly ones.
Exactly.
Yeah? All right. So how would you advise someone looking to take better control of their personal data? Take, for instance, someone that is using technology. So how do I just take control of it? Are there measures I put in place to ensure that my data is in full control?
I would break it down into do's and don'ts.
Okay.
I'll start with the do's before we look at the don'ts. So the do's are obviously use unique and strong passwords. I mean, not everybody should be using 10 characters. Not everybody should be using 12 or 13 characters, but make sure that, it combines uppercase, lowercase, special characters and numbers, just to have a little bit of, complication or, a little bit of hard to guess passwords. Don't use date of birth, don't use your age, don't use your first name and last name. I mean, just do something arbitrary, something very funny. Then if you can make it a bit lengthy, I'm not saying everybody should have 26 characters like troops, but I mean, just make it, a little bit complex. Then 2FA, like 2FA is very important right now, and they are, free applications, or they are free out there. You could use Microsoft Authentication, you could use Duo, which is Cisco, you could use, Google Authentication. They are all there for you to use. I mean, just add that extra step of security. Then regular software updates. I mean, we're too busy, we're too young, to go and check our App Store on our Play Store, just to update our softwares. I would also recommend that. Then setting permissions and the level of permission apps have on our phones or on our smart devices or websites are also very important. Then we don't read privacies. We don't read privacy policies. We don't read privacy policies, so we're looking at that should improve as well. I mean, they are very long writings and, very, very lengthy, but we don't read them. But I mean, reading them also saves us some level of, protection.
All right.
So now the don'ts. Try not to give out unnecessary information. If the website is not asking for your phone number, I mean, if it's not a required information, why should you provide your phone number? That's a red flag. Then be careful not to click on suspicious links. They could ask you for some information that are not needed. Use of public computers and Wi-Fi's are dangerous. I mean, be careful how. I mean, cyber cafes are not. I don't think we have cyber cafes anymore. Do we still have? I'm not sure we do, because I mean, internet is affordable right now, and that's kind of missing out. So we should be careful how we use public Wi-Fi's in this era. Then one of these that is a pandemic is saving passwords on browsers. Very, very wrong. I mean, there could be session hijacking. There could be somebody just, you could have a Trojan on your system without your knowledge, and the person is just recording your screen, waiting for some level of signatures that are mapped, to just pop up, and the person is, screen grabbing your passwords, and you find out that you're locked out of a secure system that you think you're comfortable with. So, I mean, do not save your password on your browsers. And lastly, make sure that your applications, make sure that your device is physically locked, either by providing a pattern or a password, or recent laptops use fingerprints. So I think you can stay safe.
All right, thank you very much for that. One of the very key highlight things you made mention of, reading terms and conditions and permissions. Most times people don't even read the permissions, they just accept.
Yeah.
And they don't know that is like literally handing someone the key to the kingdom of your data. Or just take it.
Yeah.
Because most of these loan apps now, when you want to sign up, they'll ask you for access to your contact list, but you don't know they're asking access. So you wonder, how do they send text to my brother somewhere that I'm owing them, or some person that
Exactly.
It's got the kind of permissions that has been granted to them. All right, so now we've been talking more of individuals. Now I want us to shift our gaze now to corporations. All right, given the fact that we're in a data-driven era, and some of these big organizations make use of data. So how do you think organizations now can better educate their users about data privacy, all right, in regards to, okay, this is the data we're getting and this is how we use it. So how do you think organization can better educate their user and better handle this data that they get from?
I mean, one of the best ways, one of the most efficient ways that has worked over time is awareness. Companies should provide as much awareness as possible, to make sure that their staff is well educated and equipped, to understand what corporate data is and the level of data that should leave the organization. Also, some companies go further to implement things like DLP, data loss prevention. So before an email leaves, the corporate environment, you make sure that it doesn't carry, information that is supposed to be left out. Also, we could do role-based access control, which means you're not supposed to send some level of files if you're not in certain departments. So let me give you an instance. If you're in the financial department, you can send financial documents to some people within the organization, without any two-step authentication. But if you're sending outside the organization, there should be somebody else, who permits if that mail should go out or not. I mean, in the corporate environment, it's well controlled, so, but awareness should still be something that is a regular thing, maybe 3 times, once every 3 months or once every quarter. I think once every quarter makes sense, and you should also control phishing emails, and that should be, I think for me, that works for corporate environments.
All right. So this is just the last one. So for the viewers at home and viewers all over, so what's that last one thing you just want to say to them about data privacy?
Yeah, so it's Data Privacy Month, and I look forward to a more safer Nigeria when it comes to data. And I wish everybody safe surfing online, and happy Data Privacy Month. Thank you.